All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the National Wreaths Across America Day ceremony here in Laredo. My name is Ruben Villarreal. I am the Public Information Officer for Laredo College. Honored to be here once again for our third year at this beautiful event. We thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the mission to remember the fallen, honor those that serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. We ask that to start the event, you all please join me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, prisoners of war, and those missing in action, and honor those who have served and are serving this great nation's armed services. Thank you. At this time, I ask you to please stand for the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. Presenting the colors this morning, we have the Multi-Agency Color Guard. Performing the national anthem, Camila and Bella Urbina. Thank you, Camila and Bella Urbina. We have Dwayne and Paula Wood that are going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
We want to hear this in Dallas, people. Join in. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order.
Order. March.
Right turn. March. Right. 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 Right.
You may be seated. Before the opening remarks, we want to recognize some of our officials who are joining us here this morning for this third annual National Wreaths Across America Day ceremony, starting with our Congressman, Henry Cuellar. We have the Deputy Chief Patrol Agent of the U.S. Border Patrol, Desi De Leon, joining us as well. Representing the City of Laredo, Councilman Ruben Gutierrez. Also representing the city, Councilman Dr. Tyler King. Again, thank you all for joining us today. This year, across the country, at more than 4,600 participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We're all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us and in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders of our choosing, and we have the right to succeed, and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have had and continue to fight to protect the innocent and oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for the freedom of people from around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. For this we say thank you, and we're honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away, that most of us have never even heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Quoting our 40th United States President, Ronald Reagan, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free." Today, we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. At this time, I'd like to call to the podium Congressman Henry Cuellar.
Thank you, and good morning. On behalf of my wife, Imelda, I want to say to all of y'all, good morning, beautiful morning in America today. It is a tremendous honor to stand here with you today for Laredo's third National Wreaths Across America Day, a day where we pause to remember, to reflect, and honor those who gave everything so we might have a life in freedom, so we can live in freedom, as Ruben said a few minutes ago, so we can be Americans. First, let me begin by thanking Lynette Mead and her team for organizing today's event. Where's Lynette? I know she's over here, the Statue of Liberty. And I want to thank you and your team because they have worked so hard. And I know for years you and your team have done so much to make sure that we get this in America, this wreath across America here in Laredo. So thank you for your tireless efforts. And Laredo is now part of the nationwide movement. Thousands of communities coming together say one thing: we will never forget. We will never forget. I also want to recognize our Gold Star mothers who are present here and the families here that have sacrificed. Can you all please stand and be recognized, the families also. We want to say thank you for the sacrifices, and we have tried to do everything, naming the post office after the families, and of course saying thank you for your children that have sacrificed. Thank you for being here with you, with us here. Certainly want to thank all the veterans, and I know we have a few veterans in the house. Please raise your hand so we can say thank you to all the veterans that have served. Thank you so much. I want to thank our local officials, the county, the city, but in particular to the city. Look at the work that they've done here to make sure that this particular monument is a place where we can all come together. So again, thank you, Ruben, Tyler, Melissa, Vanessa, all of y'all for coming together and for putting this together. Also, I want to say something. I was talking to Lynette, which is very important. You know, when I started doing some veterans many years ago, it was only some of the older folks that were here. I was not seeing the young folks. And I think in the last couple years, we're bringing some of the young folks here because they need to understand. They need to understand that the reason we're here and we have this beautiful country is because of our veterans, the sentinels that we have. So to all the young folks who are present here, learn, look at the mentors. You don't have to turn on the TV and travel 1,000 miles. You can find your heroes here, and they're called veterans. So thank you so much for the young folks for being here today. Today we gather for something that's far bigger than ourselves. We're here to honor the men and women who made the extraordinary choice to serve this nation, knowing full well the risk that were involved. They answered the call of duty, not for fame or glory, but they did it out of love for their country, for their fellow Americans, for the ideals that we define who we are as Americans. As your representative in the U.S. House of Representatives, I serve in one committee called the House Appropriations, where all decisions are made. And in that committee, I serve in 3 committees, and I think they're what I call the 3 right committees. One, since we got a lot of the Border Patrol and OFO folks here, I serve on Homeland to make sure that our men and women have the resources, the boots on the ground, the overtime, the technology. So to all the Border Patrol, Homeland Security folks that we have, please stand up and please let us recognize you. But I also sit on the subcommittees on appropriations for defense and military construction and the VA to make sure that our men and women in service have the right resources. In fact, to make sure that we pay them what they're supposed to be paid. The enlisted now will be getting a 14.5 pay increase, along with another 4.5 for the other enlisted folks that we have. That is one of the largest increases to make sure that not only they get the pay, but they also get housing and care that they deserve. To have some of them not have the food or the money to service our military is not right. And that's why we're just past the largest increase that we've seen in so many years to have that. The veterans of construction make sure that the VA does what they have, what they're supposed to be doing. Here in Laredo, you've seen the VA clinic, you've seen hospitals. In the old days, people used to travel all the way to San Antonio for care. Now we can do that here at the VA clinic. Not only that, you can go to doctors or other places here, and we have cut 99%, over 99% of all the travel that the veterans used to go up in San Antonio. and that is what we call taking care of our veterans. Through that, we have secured over $134 billion for the VA to make sure that critical support is given to veterans care and services. And we also passed a bipartisan legislation for the VA pensions, compensation, readjustments, benefits to make sure that the VA can process a record-breaking number of claims. You cannot wait, and you should not be waiting for your claim. Finally, we fought for the PACT Act, and the PACT Act has expanded health care for benefits for veterans exposed to hazardous conditions and making sure that they find the service and the health care that they should be getting. Here in Laredo, and I know we got some of our VA officers here, we have brought resources to almost 5,000 veterans, and that is increasing VA services and health care, but also in mental health. We cannot forget about mental health, and that is something that we've provided our veterans and Border Patrol and other services that face very difficult situations. But again, the gratitude for their service to our veterans must never end with the words, thank you. True appreciation requires action, and it means ensuring that our veterans, whether they come home in uniform or never made it home at all, receive the honor, the care, and the support they have earned here for America. President Kennedy once said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. That's why we must always keep going, and we must ensure that every veteran, no matter the rank, no matter the branch of service, feels valued, respected, and cared for, not just on the days like today, but every day. As we reflect on the sacrifice of our veterans, let us remember that their courage continues to light our way. Each wreath that we lay today is a symbol, not just of a memory, but of a renewal. It reminds us to carry on the spirit of service and the selflessness that define our veterans, the heroes that we talked about a few minutes ago. We have Memorial Day in the spring, Veterans Day in the fall, but how fitted it is that the Wreaths Across America Day comes now during the holiday season, when we are reminded of what truly matters: faith, love, gratitude, and honor and country. Let us remember their sacrifices today and every day. Let us rededicate ourselves in their legacy. Let us never stop working to build a nation worthy of their service and sacrifice. Thank you. Merry Christmas, and may God bless all of the veterans, all of y'all, and bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Before I introduce our next speaker, I do want to recognize the Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Laredo, Vanessa Pettis, joining us here this morning. And also Councilmember Melissa Ciarroa joining us this morning. Thank you, Councilwoman. At this time, I want to introduce to you the Deputy Chief Patrol Agent of U.S. Border Patrol, Desi De Leon.
It's going to be hard to follow Congressman Cuellar's speech there, but I'll definitely try here. First off, thank you all for the invite and allowing us to come out here to recognize our veterans and everything, because we know that we would not be out here without them, right? They're the ones that have kept us safe and have fought for our rights and fought for our country, for allow us to be here. Honored guests, distinguished colleagues, and fellow Americans, today we gather to honor the brave men and women who devoted their lives to the service of our nation. These veterans embodied courage, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals of freedom and justice. Their legacy is deeply woven into the fabric of our society, deserving our profound respect and remembrance. At the heart of the Wreaths across America is its mission: to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and to teach the future generations the value of freedom. Each December, we lay wreaths on the graves of our veterans, a solemn tribute to the sacrifices and a reminder of the collective effort required to preserve the freedoms we cherish. Every wreath represents a life lived in service and calls us to reflect on the profound realities of military sacrifice. Military service demands not only physical strength, but also an immense emotional resilience. Veterans face daunting challenges such as a separation from loved ones, the burden of loss, and the scars of war, both of which are visible and invisible. Their sacrifices extend beyond themselves, touching families and communities. As we commemorate the fallen, we also recommit to the values they stood for: honor, integrity, and selfless service. By preserving their stories, we keep their memories alive and inspire future generations to understand and appreciate the cost of freedom. However, our responsibility does not end with remembrance. We must also stand by those veterans still with us, ensuring that they receive the care and support they need to lead fulfilling lives. So today, as we lay the wreaths, let us honor the legacy of our fallen heroes through gratitude, advocacy, and action. In doing so, we ensure their sacrifices are never forgotten and their spirit continues to inspire us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Patrol Agent Desi De Leon. Now I'd like to call on the Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Laredo, Vanessa Perez.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to say that I'm here on behalf of our mayor, Dr. Victor Trevino, who couldn't be here, to express his support and the support of our city council for this event. I'd like to thank Lynette Mead and her husband for putting this together for all of us today. Council member Ruben Gutierrez Jr., who's part of the planning team and sponsoring a lot of what you see today. It takes a village, right, to put together something like this, and we're here to honor and remember and teach, the stories of our veterans and their service. But I do want to emphasize the fact that all of us here coming together are all doing our part for this great event. Just being here, sharing the event, supporting it, talking about it. It takes all of us to contribute to a society, to make our community what we want it to be. And all of you here today are showing your gratitude for our veterans and for their service. Sometimes when we're thankful, it's hard for us to express just how much gratitude we feel towards someone, and sometimes it never feels like it's enough. Thank you is one thing, but I think us coming together here to lay the wreaths on our veterans just kind of keeps that going. We weren't just thankful once, we're thankful all the time. And so just want to thank all of our city staff for all their hard work today getting this event going, and just how important it is when you lay that wreath, just to remember the life of that person and all of the people that love them, and we all love them as well for all their service. Again, like it was mentioned, freedom is not free. So I hope that every year, this is our third year doing this, third year. So again, I want to thank Lynette for being part of our community, bringing this wonderful event to us, and for all of you all for being here today and supporting it. And since we are in the Christmas season, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Perez. Our next speaker is the Post Adjutant for VFW Post 9194, an employee for the Texas Military Department. Please help me welcome Ricky Quijano.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank all the veterans that are here, my fellow comrades to my right and everywhere. Thank you. To all the service members out there, which I see in uniform and non-uniform, thank you for protecting our country and our borders. I thank you. To all the JROTC students, all the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and the community and the city of Laredo, we thank you. And why are we here? So, today we gather to remember united by a shared commitment to honor and respect the brave men and women who have served our military. We come together to participate in Wreaths across America, a day when wreaths are laid upon the graves of our fallen veterans, ensuring their sacrifices are never forgotten. Each wreath represents more than just a symbol of remembrance. It is a tribute to lives lived with honor, courage, and selflessness. These veterans stood for something greater than themselves: the defense of freedom, the protection of our values, and the preservation of peace. Their sacrifices, sometimes made in the most harrowing of circumstances, allow us to live in a country where liberty and justice prevail. As we lay these wreaths, we are reminded of the lives behind the names written on the headstones. We remember their stories, their families, their dreams, and their dedication they showed our nation. Many of these veterans answered the call to serve as young men and women, often leaving behind everything they knew to face hardships and dangers far from home. Some did not return. Others returned forever changed by the experience they had endured. But no matter how much time has passed, their impact remains. These veterans, whether they served in wars fought on distant shores or in conflicts closer to home, each left a legacy that we honor today. We owe them more than just gratitude. We owe them our promise to ensure their service is never forgotten and their sacrifice will never be in vain. In every wreath lay a story. Some may have served in World War II, others in Korea, Vietnam, or in more current conflicts such as Iraq and Afghanistan. Yet the common thread that binds them all, their unwavering commitment to our nation. Today we remember not just as soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, but as fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, and friends. Wreaths Across America is more than just an event. It is a reminder that we must take for granted the peace and freedom that we enjoy. We make sure that these men and women who serve this great nation are never forgotten. Through the simple yet powerful act of placing a wreath, and when placing a wreath, to ensure you call their names out, to remember and honor them, to show our fellow veterans and their families that we remember their sacrifices and honor their lives. In conclusion, let us remember that this moment is not only about paying tribute to those who have passed, but also about renewing our commitment to ensuring that the ideals for which they fought continue to thrive. May we honor them not just in memory, but in action as we're doing, by living in a way that upholds the freedom they so bravely defended. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ricky Quijano. Please help me welcome Mariachi Los Arrieros.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Thank you, Mariachi Los Arrieros. Beautiful, beautiful rendition. Thank you so much. At this time, we will have the laying of each ceremonial wreath. Now we'll have from Scouting America Troop 201, Scout Avery Jesus Becerra and Scout Jose Gael Garcia. They will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the U.S. Army. From J.B. Alexander, JROTC, Cadet Mauro Torres and Cadet Andrea Aguilar will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. From LBJ High School JROTC, Cadet Zoe Hernandez and Cadet America Munoz will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. From U.S. Border Patrol Explorer Post 0097, Border Patrol Explorer Ariane Trevino and Border Patrol Explorer Cara Buenteo will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. From Scouting America Troop 2020, Scout Ava Elizondo and Scout Olivia Elizondo will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of those serving in the United States Space Force. Now for Morton High School JROTC, Cadet Valerie Medina Casares and Cadet Kaylee Dominguez will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. From United South High School JROTC, Cadet Philip Tasserman and Cadet Jose Chiquichon will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marine. From Sierra High School JROTC, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jacqueline Tapia and Cadet Captain Alessandra Alfaro will lay a wreath at the Army National Guard. U.S. Border Patrol Explorer Post 1987, Border Patrol Explorer Alani Rico and Border Patrol Explorer Kiara Chinchilla will lay a wreath at the Air National Guard. And now U.S. Customs and Border Protection Explorer Post 2304, CBP Explorer Jasmine Casanova Medrano, and CBP Explorer Dante Flores will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoners of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes. We shall not forget you. No one understands more the meaning of sacrifice than our Gold Star families. And we're honored to have some of those families present with us today. So Samuel Martinez and Hector Pedraza will present a wreath. We have Elizabeth Olguin, Cecilia Arizola, and Kelly and Michelle Goolsby, Gold Star families, joining us this morning. We also have Joel Diaz and Tiago Flores, and Logan Cano and Gian Villatoro to present the wreaths to our Gold Star families. We could never thank our Gold Star families enough. We thank you for being here for this ceremony this morning, and thank you. We also have a special wreath that'll be presented to, well, they're not present here, but it was going to be presented to Ruth and Sammy Velasco. That special wreath will be placed by Alejandra Ofelia Gonzalez. Now we will have the 21 gun salute. Please remain standing for a closing prayer by Claudia Ochoa Rojas.
In closing, Heavenly Father, as we gather today to honor our departed veterans by laying wreaths on their gravestones, we ask for guidance in keeping their sacrifices forever in our hearts. Help us remember, honor, teach their selfless selfish service and sacrifice. Grant them rest, O Lord, in your kingdom, where there's no pain, no sorrow, only the peace that surpasses all understanding. May their sacrifices never be forgotten, and may their families find comfort in your loving embrace. May all our courageous heroes rest in peace. Though they're no longer with us, they may never be forgotten. Their memory lives in our hearts and prayers as a testament to their unselfish dedication and response to highest call of this great nation. For as scripture stated in John chapter 15 verse 13, there's no greater love that no one has than this, to lay down one life for one's friends. Thank you, and please remember to say their name, for we may never forget them.
Thank you, Claudia. You may be seated. And again, we encourage every volunteer here today who places a wreath on a veteran's grave to say that veteran's name aloud and take a moment to thank them for their service to our country. It's a small act that goes a long way toward keeping the memory of our veterans alive. Remember, we're not here today to decorate graves. We're here to remember not their deaths, but their lives. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful America. These live balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation, and to their families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms that you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a cost that someday you may have to pay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that. Thank you for joining us this morning. Please help me give a big round of applause to Lynette and Robert Mead for their efforts over the last 3 years. Thank you for being here, and now we will continue with the laying of the wreaths.